All right, here we go. Let's take a look at the markets real quick. We've got, let's go over yesterday's price action. We'll go over today's setups. We've got PPI coming out at 8:30. It's around 8:17 this morning. Let's take a look at the entire session yesterday from midnight all the way to 5 o'clock. We had two buy setups. We had three sells going into the close. Had a really big sell-off around 2:15 yesterday, right into our sell zone. Caught the right at the top of it and rolled over. So let's go over the how we look for these zones. We have fresh sell zones coming up at 8:25. I'll go over that in a second also, how we want to trade it. But the idea is we want to look for retracements into these sell zones and buy zones. So when we get a retracement, if our 30-year backtested zone is red, this is our parallel zone. If it's red, we're looking to sell the retracement. So you're looking to sell the retracement into this zone. Right when it gets into the zone, we're looking for a reversal candle, and that is going to be our entry. So you can tell yesterday we were green coming in around 5:30 a.m. in the morning. Got at 8:30, right at the 8:30. We had a buy zone that caught the market from 34 as high as 42. So just under almost under 10 points on that first move. Another buy zone. Then we turned red. You can see we turned red. Our trend zone, our 30-year backtested trend zone turned red, telling us to only look for shorts. So what you do is you look for the market to get into these sell zones and then look for a reversal candle. So I'm going to blow this up so you can see a little bit easier to see. So you can tell that we have, this is my 25 standard zone. So these dashes are going to come up, and that's going to provide us an area where the market should reverse, meaning price needs to come inside of this high and low zone. This is a 25 sell zone. This is our standard zone. This is our Sim Algo Rinco 25 zone, our proprietary zone right there. So it comes up inside of this zone, which it did. It's got to close inside of it. It's got to be at it or close inside of it. And then we're going to look for the reversal candle to get the market moving. That was 07.25. Got as low as 91. So it fell 16 S&P points after this sell zone. A beautiful sell. But what you don't want to do when you get inside of the zone, you don't want to close outside of the high of the zone. So you don't want to see it start closing outside the zone. If that happens, the trade is invalid and we do not sell the market. All right, so there's your sell zone. Then the market comes down. Get this out of the way. Then the market takes a nice plummet of 16 S&P points. We start getting the retracement. This is where the counter trend traders start coming in again. You see the counters pushing the market back up. Counters, 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 counters. And here's my sell zone. Now look how important the sell zone is. Right there's the high of the zone, low zone. We get inside of it right here at this zone. It never closes outside the zone if you look at it. It got up to it, almost touched it, doesn't close outside of it, so it's a valid sell zone going forward. The market loves to reverse inside of these zones, especially our standard zone with trend. We get the reversal candle right there. The market has a potential of 0.2 short, and it went all the way down to 64. So you had a nice almost 40-point plunge from the sell zone yesterday at 2 o'clock. It was straight down. So that's how we want to look for the sell zones. Then it came another one. The last trade we had was at for you early morning traders, your European traders, 1:30 this morning, got into the sell zone and rolled over from 70 potential down to 57, 13 S&P points potential. Now there's another zone I call the SLG. That's a shallow liquidity grab zone. What that is that on our 30-year backtested zone, they run parallel with each other, but I treat it the same way. Sometimes the market's too weak to get into our sell zones, our 25 zone, 3,500 or 200, 100 and 200 are deep zones. Sometimes it's just too weak. So if I get inside of this shallow liquidity grab, which is this area between the low and the high of my 30-year backtested zone, and I get a reversal candle, that is an aggressive move to get into the market. So this one was at 10.25 yesterday, 17.5 potential down to 99.75, 17 S&P point potential move. So I got my regular zones where we just come down to the green buy zones with green trend, or red sell zones with red trend. Pretty simple. If you look at it yesterday, total, every one of the zones worked out for the entire session. So you at least got your first possible second target out. You had 1, 2, 3, 4 potential, 2 buys, and so on. So to look at a bigger picture, to look at it, if I look at this to show you how this can work. So when you come into a shallow liquidity grab, you're getting in between these zones. So you're getting in between the high of this zone and the low of this zone. And you want to reverse. You don't want to close outside of it. So you want to see the reversal candle come in. This is yesterday's trade on the NYMEX. We've had 2 trades on the NYMEX. 2 shorts, I'm sorry. Those were 2 shorts yesterday inside the SLG. So shallow liquidity grabs. All right, so that gives you a little bit easier picture to see it with the zone by itself coming inside of the zone, getting a nice reversal, and so on. Now, the next, we do have PPI coming out, so where's our buy zone? So we've only had one sell zone this morning here. So what's our next zone? There's our short. So now we came up to the sell zone, the top of the sell zone, but it broke right through, right here, see? So we were red. But see how we close outside of the sell zone? We start closing outside of it right here, so there's no short. Start closing a candle outside of it, so that nullifies this trade. Now we turn positive. We're starting to trend up again. So since we're trending up, what's our buy zone? Our buy zone is very, very definitive right there. You can see it. There's our buy zone. We're looking to buy the pullback this morning. We got about 5 minutes to the PPI comes out. There's our buy zone. So we're looking for a pullback into price, into the zone. It cannot close below the low of the zone. It's got to come at or in the zone and give me a reversal candle. Once I get that reversal candle, that will be our buy setup. So that's the next setup I'm looking at. Now, I do have deeper zones, deeper liquidity grabs. This is just a 25 zone. So if I look at this, if you look at the previous day too, we had some big buys. Man, we had some big buys on the 14th. Big buys. Here's the SLG. Look at those. Look at that, how they marked the market up the day before too. These zones are extremely accurate. You just got to be patient. Wait for them. It catches the wrongly positioned traders. There's a buy zone. We had a buy zone here, buy zone, buy zone, buy zone. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row on the 14th. They really marked the market up. Then yesterday they had 2 buy zones and they just start selling the market up off and took all these gains away. And the sell zones worked really, really well. So now we're back into a possible buy zone as we speak. All right, so we're going to look for that buy zone this morning. Market profile suggesting from our previous profile, we got some room. So if I skinny my profile down, I got some really big levels to look at. I can see if the target today is going to be 63.02. But look at this low value area profile. The breaking point in the market all this week and next week is 62.60. If we break 62.60, this market could be in some major trouble to the downside. You can see this is major support. It's bouncing off of my profile level. We break 62.60, this market could really sell off. And we're looking for a possible big sell-off at that level. So these are our targets today on profile. We do have fresh supply lines that are now printing. It starts at 825 and it goes to 130. When you trade these levels, it's the same. These are deeper liquidity grabs. This is 100 and 200 zones. But it's the same exact scenario, how you trade these. This is a 1-1-20 chart. There's your zone. There's your 100 zone. These are deep liquidity grabs. You don't have to be green or red like you do on the 25 zone to buy and sell with trend. It's a simple break retest of this zone. So yesterday when we broke through the 100 zone and we retested the 100 zone and it never closed outside of the 100 zone but gave me a pull-in bar on the 1-1-20, this is a trade. That's a setup. Entry 03 3/4, got as low as 92, 10 S&P point plunge. And then it came down and it retested it again. It just has to test it or close inside of it. It cannot close outside on the other side. Came back up to it. It closed right at it or just inside of it. So that's a valid trade. And another entry off of our deeper liquidity graph. So you can see it's printing fresh supply demand lines right now. So these are fresh. So what we want to see happen is, well, ideally you'd want to see confluence. You come in this area where you're confluing with the 200s here. You can see the 200s here and the 100s here. What happens a lot, they'll go right in between them. They'll conflue. The market will stop right in this sweet spot right here. News just came out. You see what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to retest the zone. So news just came out, so you can let it settle down. You can see the market's getting active. The PPI just came out. News is now out. We're into the zones. So we're going to get this back up so we can start watching it. There's our possible sell zone into the buy zone. So this is our buy zone is now moved up with trend. That's our next buy zone. Our target's going to be all the way up here at 02 if we get pulled in. Because news just came out at 8:30 right now. It's trying to get rejected right here at a deep liquidity grab to get down to this buy zone. Gerald, go and shut that off. So that's how we want to do it. We want to look at these buy and sell zones. We want to look at these buy and sell zones.
Target filled.
Yeah, so we want to look at these buy and sell zones to find our entries. To get our entries. That's what we want to try to do. To get our entries on a retracement.